Okay. Hey. I'm back. Hasn't this been an amazing journey so far today? Yeah. I have a question for you. What if everything you know about making love is wrong? As I was preparing this talk, I realized the subtitle could well be How to Make Love All Day Long Without Getting Tired or Fired. Now, would you know how to do that? My message today is that our typical ways of thinking about love are too limited. They don't serve us well. Now, if you knew me 20 years ago, you'd find it pretty amusing that I'm up here talking about love. By my late 20s, I'd had my share of heartbreak, and I'd become pretty cynical about love. Pair that cynicism with a career in science, and I was pretty much just living up here in my head. And that's around the time that I met my husband-to-be. And while he felt the connection between us, I was really clueless. He called me crusty. Get this, when he would call me at work during the day just to chat, before we'd hang up, I would let him know exactly how many minutes we had just spent on the phone, with the not-so-subtle implication that he had just robbed me of that much intellectual time. Yeah, I was lucky he stuck around. He even gave me a theme song back then, which was the Grateful Dead's, When Push Comes to Shove, You're Afraid of Love. So even though I'm a social psychologist and I study positive emotions, I came to this very clueless about love. And at one level, I've come to think that perhaps we're all very clueless about love. Worldwide polls show that most people on this planet take love to be finding that one special person. And I find that kind of sad because almost half of all adults, at least in the US, have yet to find that one special person or have since lost that one special person. Is there no love for the single among us? Now, I'm here to take love off this romantic pedestal and clear away the cupids and the cartoon hearts and help you see love from the perspective of science. Now, I know some of you might be bristling, thinking, what a killjoy. I don't want my ideas about love mixing it up with science. But I want to assure you that adding science to the mix need not take the sparkle out of love. And in fact, that's what can help you learn how to make love all day long. So to take you where the science is leading, I don't want you to be thinking about love abstractly, staying up here in your head. Or I don't want you to be thinking about love and loins, staying below the belt. Okay, I'd like you to meet me in the middle. Meet me at your heart. Go ahead, put your hand on your heart. Feel it. Yours is not a cartoon heart. It's that reliable muscle beating away in your chest. What I want to help you appreciate is how your heart appreciates love. Now, one thing we tend to forget about love is that it's an emotion. And the truth about emotions is that they're fleeting. They happen in the span of a micro moment. It's that micro moment when you share a genuine positive feeling with another living being. It could be laughing with a friend, or hugging your neighbor with compassion, or it could be smiling at a baby. It doesn't even need to be your baby. It could be the baby on the plane. Now, we've heard this idea before. It's not completely new.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you.
Okay, so Louis Armstrong was calling out the warmth of our everyday greetings as one of the wonders of this world. Now, those wonders run even deeper because when you really connect with another person, a beautifully choreographed biological dance is unfolding as your smiles, gestures, and postures come to mirror one another and come into sync. But when you're really connecting with somebody else, your heart rhythms come into sync, your biochemistries come into sync, even your neural firings come into sync. It's as if in that micro moment, a single positive emotion is rolling across two brains and bodies at once, creating a momentary resonance of good feeling and goodwill between you. Now, what's more is that as you have more of these micro moments of connection in your daily life, it changes you. It changes you for the better, not just socially and psychologically, but also physically. And I've become particularly interested in your vagus nerve. Your vagus nerve emerges from your brainstem and tethers your brain to your heart. And one of its jobs is to slow your racing heart after a fright. But when your vagus nerve is functioning really well, it also slows your heart rate just a bit each time you exhale. Now, what happens in Vegas doesn't necessarily stay in Vegas. It radiates out to affect your health more generally. It reflects your body's ability to regulate inflammation, to regulate glucose, as well as your heart rate. And it also establishes your biological capacity for connection. Now, scientists used to think that your vagus nerve functioning was rather stable, kind of like your height once you're an adult. But what we've discovered is that if you find ways to increase your daily diet of these micro moments of connection each day, your vagus nerve functioning improves. The very rhythms of your heart become healthier. So these micro moments of connection are positive health behaviors every bit as much as eating your vegetables, eating your kale, or being physically active. But and how much more enjoyable and easy is connecting than doing some of the other health behaviors that we need to do. And this isn't just about your health, because when you're really connecting with someone else, your heart is getting a mini tune-up, and so is theirs. So you are wired to connect. And what we're learning is that the vagus nerve is a key part of that wiring. But I don't want you to be thinking about this wiring as mechanical wiring that stays the same season to season. This is living tissue. Your vagus nerve is living tissue, and it changes season to season depending on your habits of connection. The more you connect, the more you fortify this wiring to connect. And the more you lower your odds of having a heart attack and increase your odds of living a long, happy, and healthy life. Now, this gives me goosebumps. I mean, we've hardly been giving these micro moments of connection their due. When we say we had rapport, or we really connected, or sort of on the same page, we're in a way subtly suggesting that the goodness of our connection is somehow optional, it's icing on the cake. When these discoveries suggest that these connections are biological imperatives, they give you life in the same way that the right combination of sunlight, soil, and earth gives life to plants. Now, this is the evidence that pushed me to elevate these micro moments of connection and put them on that revered pedestal that we call love. Love isn't just that lightning bolt experience that connects you to your soulmate. No less life-changing, it's also that simple, genuine smile that you can share with anybody all day long. Now, this isn't just some ivory tower exercise of remapping definitions. This has been a huge wake-up call for me personally. I've come to see that every interaction that I have all day long is an opportunity. But if I'm going to step into that opportunity, I need to step out of my head and away from my keyboard and take some risks, be open, be vulnerable. And what I found is that the payoff for doing that is huge. All day long, I can give and receive energy and health, whether I'm getting to know Anita, who sat next to me on my flight to San Francisco last week, or playing cards with my colleagues over lunch, or enjoying my 2 cats with my 2 kids. And you know what? I now no longer count the minutes that my husband and I connect during the day as distractions from my work, but as part of the magic that keeps our bond strong and our hearts healthy. What makes this all the more poignant is that we know from the evidence that the causal arrow runs in both directions, that the more of these micro moments of connection that we have, the more we improve our heart health, and our heart health establishes our capacity for connection. And this mutual influence sheds light on how a lack of positive connection can diminish you. Your heart's capacity for love obeys the biological law of use it or lose it. So choose it. Choose love. Stop waiting for the Cupid's arrow or the lightning bolt to choose you. Choose love. Choose to connect with the people in your midst, face to face, heart to heart, and smile to smile. The science is calling us to wake up to the life-giving power of these micro moments and take them more fully to heart. Choose love. Opportunities abound. Thank you.